up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 24 hours, where we have a lot of topics to discuss, starting with the retirement of Thiago Alcantara, and he's already getting back in action with Hansi Flick trying to convince him to join the Barcelona coaching staff. They're in advanced negotiation with Thiago, very inclined to accept the offer. We have all the details on that operation, along with, of course, the signing of Nico Williams. The club again have him now as a dream signing, number one priority, number one in regards to everything this summer. Deco finally has pulled his head out of his arse and turned around and binned his Luis Diaz agenda, and he wants to sign Nico Williams as well. We have quotes from the president confirming the interest in Nico Williams and also confirming that we can afford to pay for him. We have the updates on that, alongside exits, your Romeus, your other players involved in that, region. Araujo update on his renewal and also on his injury as well. Raphinha telling Deco that he's going to be staying at Barcelona 100% this summer. Update on Vitor Roque as well. Some, preseason updates ahead of the start of preseason tomorrow, of course, and also some new deals that Barcelona are striking with the Spotify Camp Nou, and or of course to return to the 1-1 rule. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 24 hours. Firstly, of course, the updates around Nico Williams are picking up at a very rapid pace, with quotes coming in from the president and of course reports coming in from the media as well about Barcelona's plan and pursuit for the Spanish winger. Optimism and confidence is increasing a lot. Firstly, Tony Juan Martins came out saying that if Barcelona are able to achieve in the financial fair play muscle in the coming weeks, they will go all out to sign Nico Williams. He is the most liked winger at the club. Alex Pentel from Merlivo came out saying that Barcelona have already informed Nico Williams of their footballing and economic plan to sign him. He has become a priority after the recent meetings between Hansi Flick and Deco. The club has got down to work. Barcelona's idea is offering a salary which will increase based on the number of matches he plays during the season. Deco, Joan, Laporta, and Hansi Flick, all of them consider Nico Williams signing as fundamental, and the player sees joining Barcelona with good eyes as well. It is Joan Laporta's dream to have Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal running down the wings at Barcelona. Deco and Hansi Flick share the same vision. Mateo Merito has come out saying that it is a fact that Nico Williams prefers Barcelona, and Barcelona has already spoken to his entourage, but there is still a lot to be done. Nico has convinced everyone at Barcelona. Deco now has also agreed on him, and that is significant. The reason why that's significant is because Deco spent the last 3 freaking weeks twerking for Luis Diaz, so thank God he's come around. And finally, Santi Ovila has come out saying that Barcelona has told Nico Williams that they will fully try their best in paying his release clause, but he would also like to see something from his end as well, which is that the club does not want Nico Williams to hear offers from England, as they don't want to enter any auction for the player. So essentially, Barcelona saying, look, we want to sign you, we're going to sign you, but just, show us some loyalty while we get this deal underway and get everything done pretty much, and let's see if Nico obliges or not. But the biggest news for me is that Deco finally pulling his head out of his arse and making that U-turn in towards Nico Williams. Again, it's been clear now for about, I would say, 2 weeks that he is now the number one priority this summer, not just for the left wing, but the entire summer itself. Operations underway. We've already contacted his entourage, giving him the kind of baseline of the salary, the structure of the deal, how things, incentives will be taking place as well. Of course, with Bilbao, his club, different story if we want to pay a little bit above the release clause and pay in installments, or pay everything up front via the release clause. Either way, we're looking at 60 million for Nico Williams, which we can all agree is worth it. Even though he renewed his contract just 6 months ago, he would have technically been a free agent by now if he didn't. But he's not gonna leave his club, his boyhood club, like that without getting paid for the talent that he is. So fair enough to him. So we'll wait and see how things do turn out. But again, excitement is rising with the future of Nico Williams, destined at this point for Barcelona. Again, the club want to see some commitment from him, some loyalty from him, that he will not hear any offers from outside. But we've kind of known for the past, week and a half, 2 weeks, it's quite clear that Nico Williams will either go join Barcelona this summer or he'll stay at Athletic Club. I don't think himself he's too keen on a move to England, especially with the development that he is having right now in Spain. Again, the country that he knows, the language they speak as well. Moving to a different country like England, to Chelsea, where there's about 5,000 wingers, or Man City, where they have about 6 quality wingers as well. It's difficult for him, where at Barcelona, the left wing spot is pure and utter vacant. I mean, there's, Ferran Torres who can play. They're not that great. Joan Felix is not here yet, or here at all. Ansu Fati is still coming back from injury, so that spot is just wide open for him to come in and claim it as his own. So wait and see how things turn out. But again, this operation will not fully get underway definitely until after the Euros, whether or not Spain make the Euro final this Sunday or not. But again, the number one priority for Barcelona this summer now is Nico Williams. But a signing that Barcelona has completed over the past 24 hours is the return of Mamadou Fall, also known as McBackey, of course, following the departure, or very likely departure you could say as of right now, of Michael Fay, and also losing out on McCoy to Ajax as well. The club felt it necessary to bring back McBackey. Tony Juan Martí has come out from Sports saying that total agreement reached between Barcelona and Los Angeles FC for Mamadou Fall McBackey. Barcelona will pay around 2 million euros and LAFC will keep a percent of a future sale. Reminder, by the way, we had him, of course, sign him on loan from last season with a buy option of 4. So we've cut that in half and given them a percent of a future sale. Now the only thing left is for the signature from all parties to complete the operation. After the operation of Jordan McCoy was unsuccessful, Barcelona insists on McBackey, and the good relationship between Barcelona and its entourage was helpful. McBackey is expected to return to action in September after recovering from his ankle injury. The initial idea is for him to be an important player for Barca Athletic next season, although good offers in the next few weeks can change the scenario. So someone comes in and offers maybe more money or a loan, maybe something could happen there. I think that's very unlikely. He will be one of the key players next season for Barca Athletic. He was kind of a good player for them last season, but kind of in and out with injuries, and now hopefully next season he'll have a cornerstone there in the center back department. Look, he's a good player. I've seen quite a few clips of him. I think he's definitely a talent, especially now with not getting McCoy and McAlfay either going to be in the first team or getting sold somewhere else. Having McBackey with Barca Athletic is going to be a good asset, and getting him for half the price as well as his buy option. I think overall, excellent work here by Deco to reduce the price, compensate LAFC accordingly, and keeping a player of huge talent. And also don't forget as well, Rafa Marquez wanted to keep him as well. So overall, great operation for all party, and we'll wait and see how McBackey does next season. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 24 hours. First up is your main man, Oriol Romeu. Am I still surprised he's a Barcelona player? No, and he might be a Barcelona player for just a little bit longer as well. Now, Catalonia Radio have come out saying that Girona is interested in bringing back Oriol Romeu. However, they're only looking to bring him back for free. The club does not intend to pay a fee for his return. Look, I've said this already, a month ago. I'll say it again. I'll give him back to for free, but just have some variables in there. If Girona maybe get out of the group stages, we get 1 million. They finish in top 4 in La Liga again, we get another 1 million. Something like that. Because again, his wages are... It'll be nice to save on them, of course, but they're not like that crazy where we're gonna, benefit a lot from saving them, right? We only bought him for 3 million as well, so it's like not the end of the world as well if we end up letting him go for free. That's not my worry, but try to, retain as much as we can is always beneficial to us. But for now, Romeu might be staying at Barcelona longer than we expected. Now, his agent, Diaz, was at the Ciutat Esportiva Joan yesterday. He had a meeting with Deco for around about 2.5 hours. Keep in mind as well, he's also the agent of Pau Victor, who the club do want to keep as well. Again, Girona player, so Girona, Barcelona, everything is being linked together. But right now, according to reports, the plan as of now is for Romeu to conduct pre-season with the first team until a departure is agreed, which again is standard. He'll be involved in preseason. Will he be on the plane to America? That is the big question. Again, he can still go to America and get sold later on, or sold during America. I've seen it before, but usually when they go to America, that pretty much means okay, you're gonna be there for 2 weeks. You probably have your future sorted afterwards. But we'll wait and see. I do expect him, of course, to be in training tomorrow for medical checkups and probably training with Barcelona over the next week and a half, 2 weeks or so. But whether he's on that plane or not, that is the main question mark. But look, if it comes down, I know I've seen a lot of reports in the media, oh, Barcelona have no midfielders for preseason. Look, I'd rather play, I know Gaido's injured, but I'd rather play Unai Hernandez, Marc Casado, Noah Darvik. I'd rather play all of them in the midfield, especially in preseason, than Romeu. It's not going to benefit us whatsoever than playing Romeu. Just going to have another body in there, just someone with experience, even though we don't really need that because, again, it's preseason. It's all about, getting experience, not giving it. So we'll wait and see how things turn out with the future of Romeu. Again, it's far away from Barcelona. He has no chance of being, in the first team next season. Just really now down to how he leaves and also when he leaves. Now, a player's future that has not developed whatsoever since you could say probably the middle of February is Ronald Araujo. Of course, he is now injured, so a sale this summer is basically impossible. So hopefully the club can try to sort out his future somehow. Mateo Morito has come out saying that in terms of any changes in the defense, Ronald Araujo is one name to watch out for. Araujo's contract situation still hasn't been resolved, and Barcelona will have to think about how to find a solution. Contract talks with the Uruguayan have been going on since the beginning of 2024, but a deal hasn't been reached yet. Hopefully now with this injury things will develop, but again, I thought that for Gavi, I thought that for Pedri, and absolutely nothing happened whatsoever because the players focus on Copa America. Oh, the players focus on recovery. Oh, the players focus on they're always focused on something except for sorting out their future. That's just kind of the mainstay of how things turn out. So we'll see what the club decide. I think again the plan is for him once his campaign ends with Uruguay, figure out with him you want to stay or not. If not, something's gonna have to happen. Of course, we can't really sell him because he's injured unless the club really wants to, take a risk on him. He's gonna come back fit. It's not like an ACL or anything like that, but signing injured players is very, 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 very rare in football. So we'll see how things turn out. I think again, I'm fairly confident that he will continue at Barcelona. It's just really getting that point where you can sit down, have that face-to-face, that yo, Wagwan, what's up? What's gonna happen here? Because it's all been, intermediary talks, agents coming to Barcelona. Hey, what's up? Oh, we'll talk later. Oh, Idaho in the media. I want to see at Barcelona right now. Focus on Copa America. It's like all this back and forth, dilly-dallying. You just gotta sit down, hatch it out, and figure out, a preliminary stance. Don't have to fully agree on a contract from the get-go, but just kind of have an idea of, yes, we want to continue. Let's not discuss the number-wise and the deal and all that sort of stuff. So we'll see how things do turn out for Araujo, but again, since February, there's been no progress whatsoever in his future. Now, another player's future that will be decided at a later date is the future of Vitor Roque. Mateo Morito has come out saying that Hansi Flick wants to see how Vitor Roque performs during a preseason before deciding on his future at the club. Joan Laporta has also blocked any potential move involving Vitor Roque until Flick expresses his decision about the Brazilian forward. So again, if Flick tells them, you know what, he's not that great, let's loan him, Joan Laporta will say yes. And then that brings back the question of Xavi. Oh, Xavi said he should go out on loan for experience. Everyone killed them. Will we give the same treatment? Will it be the same vibe? That is a real question. But I think, regardless of how Vitor Roque does, I think he should be at in the Barcelona first team next season. He had to have someone there with that natural ability to cover Lewandowski, although Varane can do a job there. Ansu Fati can play there. It is not their natural position like it is for Vitor Roque. So definitely for me, I think even unless his preseason is like absolutely woeful, I think he should be staying in the first team next season, but we'll wait and see how he does perform behind the scenes, on the pitch as well, for what we see from the footage that the club releases to the games in preseason as well. That will all be, the determining factor. And of course, Hansi Flick will have a big say in that because what he says, Joan Laporta will trust and transmit to Deco to, resolve whether it's going to be to register him or to find a move for him on loan. Keep your eyes, by the way, on Porto and Napoli. Those are the two main clubs that are really showing strong interest in Vitor Roque. So we'll wait and see how things turn out with Vitor Roque's future, but again, it's all in his hands to continue at Barcelona based on his performance in preseason. Now, a player that is absolutely adamant and confirmed to Deco that he will not be leaving Barcelona this summer is Raphinha. Joaquin Pereira of Sport, again the number one source in regards to Brazilian players in Barcelona, has come out saying that Raphinha has no intentions of leaving Barcelona and has informed this to Deco. He remains inflexible. Acceptor of Barcelona would favor selling him to Saudi Arabian League. Again, if the price is right, I understand that point of view from that kind of sector of the Barcelona board. But if you want to just sell him outright just because, I disagree with that completely. I think he's an absolutely fantastic player. He's had a great 2 seasons, done okay for Brazil in the Copa America. Of course, take away that free kick golazo, he played well for them regardless. He's a player that will provide, an utmost amount of quality for Barcelona. Again, Lamine Yamal, so young. He cannot play week in, week out. Same with Raphinha as well. He's not really reliable in regards to injuries as well. Does pick up nigglings here and there, so having that will be important. Being able to play in the midfield in the 10 as well with the current 10 situation we do have, Pedri injured, Gavi injured, Firmin at the Olympics, Gundogan on buckload amount of minutes having Raphinha playing there. So imagine, Raphinha behind Lewandowski, Lemon on the right, whoever you want to put on the left, Fran, Ansu, Nico Williams, whatever you want to do, that could be a balanced front four as well. So keeping a player like him is important. Again, he's a player that if an offer does come in that's suitable for himself, Barcelona and everyone involved, you absolutely accept it. But for now, I'm very happy to hear the news that he's adamant that he wants to continue, and I'm sure Barcelona will comply with that. Now, one player's future that still remains in doubt, but is still on the heavy side of continuing at Barcelona for now anyways, is Alex Valle. And again, his situation is very, very interesting and very delicate as well. Relevo have come out saying that Barcelona for now are counting on Alex Valle, but the situation is not as simple as it seems. His contractual situation means that an exit cannot be ruled out in the summer. Valle currently has a contract with Barcelona until 2025, so next year he'll be free, and Barcelona do want to renew it, but they must first register him as a first team player. If this is not done before August the 1st, then his release clause will drop from 8 million to 3 million euros until the market ends. If the renewal is achieved, then his clause of course will increase immediately to 30 million euros. Again, the Barcelona do have the option to activate this automatically, no negotiations needed. The problem is that currently Barcelona cannot register any players and need deals or sales to return to the 1-1 rule, of course. If in the end Barcelona get the margin to register him, he will only have 12 months left on his contract, and agreement has to be reached. The advantage is that Valle is willing to listen to Barcelona and dream succeed there, although he is aware of financial situation and many clubs being interested in him. Of course, Alex Valle for 3 million. It's gonna suck to lose him for that price if someone's really that interested in him, whether it's gonna be a lower tier Premier League club or a mid to lower tier La Liga club. 3 million for a top prospect left back is not a bad gamble, of course. I think no one's gonna pay his 8 million now, knowing that he'll be 3 million in about 2 or 3 weeks time if Barcelona, of course, do not sort out his situation. I think again you still have some time, and again once we return the 1-1 rule, I think this is gonna all be easy peasy lemon squeezy. I mean, his wages are what, 10,000 a week? I can bloody register that. Like, it's gonna be absolutely nothing. But again, it's being blown out of proportion a little bit because right now we have no room to maneuver whatsoever. But in due course, I think once we hit the, before we hit the flight to America, he'll be registered no problem. I'm very confident in the fact that his trip to America will not be in jeopardy unless he communicates to Barcelona that he does not want to continue and he does not want to renew his contract. That's the only way he'll not be on that flight. But I think he will be there. I think he will continue at Barcelona, of course, pending his performance in preseason. But we'll wait and see how the contractual side of Valle's future pans out over the next few weeks. Let's discuss some of the news starting Barcelona over the past 24 hours. Of course, the big news is that tomorrow preseason will begin at Barcelona, and yesterday the club released the schedule for the first week of preseason. Tomorrow going into Thursday, they're going to be having medical checkups in the morning and then having training afterwards. On Friday, they're going to be having a double training session. Saturday, just a morning training session. And then Sunday, of course, the Euros and Copa America is not for the first team because they're going to be having a double training session that day on the 2 finals. So whether they get to watch it or not remains to be seen. Maybe they have a training, go watch the finals, and come have a training again. That could be the place depending on how Flick set up the timing for the training sessions. But again, the plan is set out, and we'll wait and see tomorrow for the pictures and how everyone comes in and what's the vibe going to be like, especially from Flick and those players returning from loan and first team fringe players, so to speak. And also, of course, B team players being involved. Sport came out saying there's going to be 10 youth players that will be at the start of the preseason tomorrow. Those players, again, we've already run through this. Asalaga, Cochin, Fai, Fort, Gerard Martin, Bernal, Casado, Darvik, Unai Hernandez, and Angel Alecron. The exact same 10 names I told you guys a few days ago. We have some updates around Gerard Martin specifically as well, because Sport came out saying that Barcelona informed left back Gerard Martin recently that he will do preseason with the first team and he'll have a chance to convince Hansi Flick. In the 42 matches last season for Barca Athletic, he only missed 90 minutes. So a very fit player. Again, from the people that I know that watch Barca Athletic a lot, and I'm talking like every single game. Again, I only watch the big games, the game where there's some hype and vibes to it. I'll hold my hands up. But people who watch, Barca Athletic week in, week out say that he's not the greatest. And again, another left back. You already have Balde, you have Hector Fort, you have Alex Valle. Why are you bringing a fourth left back at this point? Someone is playing right back, because of course right back we have no one apart from Julian Araujo. One of them is playing right back. Whether it's going to be Hector Fort, whether it's going to be Valle, whether it's going to be Gerard Martin, because again, we have to prioritize Balde's fitness because he's going to be the starting left back come August the 17th when we start La Liga against Valencia away at the Mestalla. It ain't going to be Gerard Martin. So prioritizing the minutes of the people who need it will be very, very important, but he will have a big chance to prove to Hansi Flick his capabilities in preseason. Now, alongside the Nico Williams news, the biggest news around Barcelona over the past 24 hours has been about the potential return of Thiago Alcantara to Barcelona. Now, firstly, the player did announce his retirement yesterday following his injuries. Couldn't really get fully fit to continue on his season after leaving Liverpool on a free transfer. What an absolute baller he was. Of course, not, the greatest midfielders of all time or, top 20 Barcelona midfielders of all time. Far from that, but a very good midfielder, silky player. The technique on him was astounding, and in his prime, on his day, definitely one of the, if not the best midfielder in the world. For his Bayern Munich time, he was absolutely disgusting. Even for Barcelona, just again, we had, the golden era of Xavi and Iniesta. You had Fabregas as well, which he was never getting ahead of as a youngster, but he went out to Bayern Munich, proved his worth, did a good job at Liverpool as well for those first 2 years. The last kind of, dragged out due to injuries. Absolute baller though, and I think overall he had a great career. But following his retirement, there's been a lot of hype about him returning to Barcelona as part of Hansi Flick's coaching staff. Ronald Araujo is the one that broke the news, saying that keep an eye on Thiago Alcantara's name. He could reinforce Hansi Flick's staff. Contacts have already been taking place, and the matter is hot. It remains to be seen whether an agreement can be reached during this week. Now remember, 2 months ago when Hansi Flick was hired, we talked about players potentially coming in to be that kind of liaison in the middle. We talked about Thiago, Marc Bartra, Ivan Rakitic, those kind of players who can come in, Javi Martinez, those players that can kind of come in, speak both languages, understand the philosophy, can kind of translate what Flick wants to do, and kind of act as an intermediate, and also be someone with experience as well. Looks like Thiago is the hot running for that. Candacer came out saying that there had been talks between Hansi Flick and Thiago Alcantara to bring him back to the Barcelona coaching staff. Thiago, of course, retired and he'd like to remain linked with football. The idea of being a coach in the future attracts him, but nothing, of course, as of right now is closed. Ronald from Mundo Deportivo came out saying that, look, Hansi Flick was at the Ciudad Deportiva yesterday with his 3 assistants. In addition to that, he also spoke with the new medical staff and physical trainers as well, and also he is negotiating with Thiago to bring him back and to bring him back to Barcelona as part of his coaching staff. Tony Juan Martin came out saying that Thiago Alcantara values the offer by Hansi Flick, who tries to convince him to be part of his staff. Thiago has given more positive inputs in the last few hours, and his return to Barcelona right now is very real possibility. Barcelona are waiting for his definitive green light. Thiago knows that Flick would be delighted to have him, and that he also is attracted by the possibility of facing new challenges. Before his arrival, with some issues, not all sportingly, have to be resolved. The issue is not expected to take much longer, though. And finally, Gentes against Ronald Araujo, who broke the news originally, came out late last night saying that Hansi Flick and Thiago Alcantara had a meeting in Barcelona yesterday afternoon to lay the foundations of the new project. Flick wants to incorporate him into his staff, and he is very attracted to this way of understanding football and his knowledge of the language as well. Apparently, Flick, his English isn't really that great either. Of course, Thiago speaks Catalonia, he speaks Spanish, so that won't be an issue, but with Flick trying to speak with the players in Spanish is going to be, damn near impossible at this stage. The only way he can do so is with English, but his English isn't the best either. So this appointment just checks all the boxes. You bring in a good, footballing mind who knows the city, knows the academy, knows the style of Barcelona, knows the history of the club, can speak both languages, of course, in Spanish and Catalonia. It's an absolute no-brainer. It's easy peasy. It just really comes down to Thiago himself accepting it or not. And is this going to be the reason why he retired? A lot of people think, oh, he retired to join Barcelona. I don't think that's really the case. I think he really tried to stay and continue playing. But I think since he now retired, Flick came in and swooped in at the first opportunity that he could get. So wait and see what happens over the next I think couple of days. I think this will be resolved by the weekend for sure. I think Flick wants him in right now at the beginning as soon as possible. Either you join now, great. If not, maybe you can come back next summer. Maybe you need a year off from football to clear your mind. A little sabbatical for him as well. You never know. But right now, talks are advanced. Talks are being positive as well. Thiago's transmitting positive inputs to Barcelona. Just again down now to fine-tuning the full agreement for him to potentially join Hansi Flick's coaching staff. Now, in regards to the financial side of Barcelona that we have been speaking about in this video, here and there, we do have an update of a new deal coming into the Spotify Camp Nou, Fernando Polo and Rochelero Mundo Deportivo have come out saying that Barcelona is close to finalizing a commercial agreement with an American company for the catering services of the Spotify Camp Nou in exchange for 30 million euros. The company would advance the money to Barcelona now, even though it would not be able to fully profit from the investment until the summer of 2025, when the Spotify Camp Nou, of course, returns once the new stadium construction is completed. Again, you're using the asset of your stadium to bring in money that we need now, and again, getting that payment paid early as well, not waiting until 2025. Again, nothing but big and profitable, more assets for financial fair play. So now you have the catering service fund of 30 million euros. You have liberal money that you can bring in, the Nike renewal. Again, the club are working very, very hard to return to the one rule as soon as possible, and doing so many ways, they're looking at so many different avenues apart from player sales to make the return to the one rule a reality. So this is just another service on top of that, and to be honest, from the Barcelona perspective, absolutely brilliant deal as well. Catering services is something you're going to need in a top stadium that's going to attract a lot of people and a lot of top VIP services. So having that ability as well from the catering side, they will of course make the profit, and Barcelona will be receiving the money they need right now in this moment right now as well. So I think overall, great operation, great business, but again, I think more is needed apart from this operation as well to return to the 1-1 rule. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss for an end of this video is in regards to some quotes coming in from Prezi Joan Laporta, who spoke with Catalunya Radio and gave us some little updates here and there about what's going on around the club. He was firstly asked on his thoughts on Nico Williams and the potential signings. That, look, evidently I like him a lot, but we need to let those responsible for the work to do their job. Deco is working on the signings discussed with Hansi Flick, and I hope we'll have good news for everyone soon, i.e. returning to the 1-1 rule. As of today, there is money available for this operation. This is the result of the work done over these years. To reach this point, we can and could afford the signing of this level. So again, in regards to activating the release clause, it is possible, it is feasible for Barcelona. Again, whether we'll have money left afterwards or not remains to be seen, but paying the release clause right now, definitely a possibility. So again, momentum is building, everything is on track right now for Nico Williams, hopefully to be a Blaugrana player by the end of this summer. Give us some more updates as well. Update on the club's financial situation. It's been 3 intense years with a lot of work, but we've done well. The club's financial finances are recovering, and we should have good news for everyone soon. 1-1 rule returning. We're working to confirm this recovery and have some operations that we will announce shortly. It's reassuring to complete this 3-year process, and I hope we return to normality soon. So the stuff that's going to announce soon, of course, liberal Nike deal, and also maybe this catering service as well. Then as on the injuries of Pedri and Araujo, saying that it's not pleasant to start the season with Pedri's recovery. If I'm correct, it's agreed to medial collateral ligament injury, which means he'll be out for around 4 to 5 weeks. It's unfortunate because Pedri is crucial for us, but I'm confident that he'll improve with our recovery and our new physical training staff. As for Araujo, it's a hamstring issue. I'm not sure how long it will take, but we need to stay strong and handle it with a very competitive squad. Then asked, of course, on financial fair play, saying that recently the Liga President Javier Tebas recognized our efforts to reduce expenses. It's good news that we can turn to normality soon with fair play, as it will help us enter the market if necessary signings to reinforce the first team. He's then asked on Hansi Flick's presentation as the new manager, saying that before we go out to America, we plan to present Hansi Flick. He's just arriving today. He's at the Sportivo with Deco and those recovery. The presentation is scheduled before we leave for the American tour. So originally we heard reports a few weeks ago when Hansi Flick was appointed that the interview and presentation is going to be happening in America, but now it'll be taking place beforehand. So we're going to leave to America, I would say, around July the 20th-ish, 25th-ish. Expect Hansi Flick presentation before that. Now, of course, during the presentation, a lot of quotes, a lot of insights, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe, drop your notification bells so you will not miss those kind of updates. But again, Joan Laporta, nothing but positivity on this update about return to the 1-1 rule, of course, and of course, making sure and transmitting to the fans that the signing of Nico Williams is 100% a reality. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 24 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to see, of course, is your thoughts on the return of Thiago Alcantara as part of Hansi Flick's coaching staff. Take your thoughts on the signing of Nico Williams. Are you more optimistic now with the confirmation from Joan Laporta? 30 thoughts on Raphinha staying. Are you for it or against it? And find your thoughts on the future of Araujo, both injury-wise and with the club. Are you confident he'll end up staying at Barcelona? You think he'll end up leaving from now until his contract expires? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.
Barcelona,